Salut à toutes et à tous, bienvenue sur QLS. Aujourd'hui, je suis avec Tyson Ward qui a eu le plaisir de nous accorder une interview. On est à la One Ball, centre d'entraînement du Paris Basket. Hello Tyson, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Fine. First of all, I told you my first question was how do you feel in Paris? Did you learn some French or what can you say in French?
Ça va, that's about it.
No, I heard you.
Allez les bleus. The chant, I know that one. I know some of the simple words. Oui, non.
I heard
Sans,
you say chef.
avec, chef.
Yeah.
Merci, chef. That's my
Merci,
favorite
chef.
one. That's my favorite one. But yeah, I mean, I try to learn the culture as much as possible wherever I go. And I think that's the cool thing about traveling abroad, you know, is being in that culture, adapting to that culture. And I think, you know, the people around you realize and appreciate the fact that you take the time to understand and try to speak their language, at least a little bit. I know that it might not be their best, but, you know, a little goes a long way.
Of course. So we're gonna travel a little bit through your career.
Good.
So you first came in Europe in Germany, in Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg, yeah.
Yeah, Wolfsburg, and then to Bonn, where you played with most of the guys they came here with you.
Yep.
What's so special about this group? Because it seems everywhere you go, you succeed.
I mean, at first it had a lot to do with our coach, Thomas. He gave us a lot of confidence, a lot of structure, a lot of space for us to grow into who we are. And it took us a minute to buy in, and you know, once we got a hold of that, and we understood, you know, things just continuously got better. You know, we followed our leader, and then it came down to us, you know, constantly doing the things that he practiced and constantly getting better on our own. You know, I think every year you look at every guy that's been at Bonn and even been in this sort of program that we've been a part of, you know, they've gotten better, you know, whether it's a little bit or a lot. And it's just a testament to, you know, the people that we have around us and the locker room, coaching staff. You know, everybody wants to get better. Everybody's hungry, and no one's ever lost that. You know, no one's ever gotten complacent with where they are, and I think that's what's a huge testament to our success, and you know, and hopefully in the future.
I noticed something you say that was interesting. You said we follow our leaders. Leaders or one leader?
I mean, at first it was our leader, you know, and eventually, you know, becomes, you know, TJ as well, and it becomes me, Colin, Seba. You know, we're the core. We're the core of that group. Leon, those guys that came, we had to be not the pioneers, but sort of set the standard of what we have to bring. You know, like nobody could sit back and not help. We had to hold everybody accountable for each other's actions, and we trusted each other in the fact of our careers, basically. You know, trusting each other to, hey, you know, if we go here, this is going to be a huge chance for us to continue to grow and continue to get better. We just got to hold each other accountable.
And is this something natural for you, or did you have to work to be a better leader, to take more place in the locker room, in the team?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like, my thing is not really vocal. You know, mine's usually by example. You know, and mine is defense. You know, and I think it's a huge thing. You can tell that if I don't bring the juice, you know, we might start off with no juice. So, I mean, it's multiple people that we can trust on to do that. But, you know, you have to learn what type of leader you are and what type of example you need to set, especially with those 6 guys. And even the guys that have come in, you know, they also learn how to become leaders in their own. You know, first they have to learn, and then they also set a standard maybe the other guy didn't. You know, and that's the cool thing about it. We learn from each other, and we learn that, you know, everybody, like I keep saying, everybody can hold each other accountable. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good way of putting a team together and succeeding.
Yeah.
The moment when all of you came from Bonn to Paris, it's unheard of, unseen. Like how many players? 6 or 7?
6 players.
Yeah, plus
6
the coach.
players, and then coaching staff.
I never heard of anything like that. What was the thing that made you come to Paris with all the other players, with your coach?
Well, the crazy thing is it wasn't like we all decided all together. You know, it was one by one.
Okay.
Coach had the opportunity. I believe Coach took the opportunity, and then, you know, things started to progress with each guy. You know, some people may not have wanted to come, and then they realized, okay, we have a good opportunity, you know. So it wasn't like we all collaborated and said, hey, we're going to go here.
Okay,
you know,
it
was,
seems that way.
yeah, you know, it might seem that way, but, you know, the crazy thing is that we all made that individual choice.
Okay.
I don't think I called somebody and was like, hey, we should go there, you know.
But did you know who was the pioneer?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I think the first person to actually head to Paris was Coach.
Okay.
And yeah, and then he made the decision on, you know, what he wanted, and, you know,
I guess he told you guys, all the team, like, okay, I'm going to Paris.
I wouldn't say we didn't learn that until the summer. Okay. We didn't learn it during the year. Yeah, you know, that decision was made, you know, based on his decision and what he wanted to bring, and then we followed what we thought was best for us, and you know, we chose.
That's the ultimate proof of confidence in your coach, to have half of his team follow him in a new project, because we'll come on this subject later, but Paris is a new team, Paris basketball. Okay, so this year, Tuano Cizalo is now the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. As we can see, I don't know if you saw that the video in the preseason of you doing like a 1, 2, 3 Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh yeah.
It popped up when he got the job. So now you have Thiago Splitter, super experienced coach, super experienced player, more experienced player. What's the difference between Tuano Cizalo and Thiago Splitter in coaching, in managing, human being?
I feel like they're two different people. I mean, I would say Thiago is more of a player's coach, you know. T.I. was definitely, I call him T.I. Coach Isolo was definitely harder coach, you know, like in terms of what he expected, what was required of us. You know, practice was a little bit more, you know, militant, you know, and not as a disrespectful thing, you know, but he understood that his philosophy was that, you know, you need focus all the time. And Thiago has the same thing, but I would say he has more of that player aspect. He understands a little bit more of the player side. T.I. also was a player as well, but he also shifted into that coach role. And I think he had more experience as a head coach than Thiago did. And Thiago, it's a lot, you know, there's a lot of differences. You know, Thiago, this is his first year as a head coach, and, you know, it's not necessarily his offense, because we're still running a lot of the same sets, a lot of the same defense. So he hasn't really had a chance to make it his, you know. He's just incorporated some of his ideas, and it's worked really well. And I think him being able to adjust is what made us so great, you know. Also implementing his style is what made us so successful. And so, you know, it's kind of like, you know, he got to learn how to be, he got to learn his first year as a head coach, you know, and he just continued to find ways to make us better. And it was basically like tit for tat. They worked together almost, you know? Yeah,
because from the outside, we can see when we watch the game that you still play like last year. So it's interesting as a player. What do you feel? You said like he was implementing a bit of his style into your style of play. What difference on the game? What style did he bring?
I would say different. Example? I would say different defenses. You know, with Coach Isolo, we were just set with what we do. You know, and I think the principles from 1 to 5 stay the same at all times. And I think, you know, in last second chances, you know, you might switch, but here, you know, you have different variables of defense, and that's really what sets it apart, honestly. You know, it's just more variability on defense. He gives us a little bit more offensive plays, you know, than the ones that we have. I can't really say that, like, what our T.I. was special was just like the things that we do, you know, and we do those at a high level. And with Thiago, we have a little bit more variability and, you know, a little bit more surprise, you know, to change it up.
So you can throw the opposite team off more likely, because they don't know what you will do in defense. Okay, nice. We'll talk about you a little bit more. I want you to define your game for you.
I don't like to be defined.
That's a definition.
I think I can do whatever you need. I think there's limits to that, though. I know that I'm a very good defender. I know that I can shoot the ball well. I don't think 3-and-D fully defines me, but I think I'm more of a slashing type utility guy. You know, I'm a Swiss Army knife, really. You know, you can plug me in anything and anywhere, and I can be as useful and helpful as possible.
Okay, interesting. Because the first thing that we see, like from the outside again, it's like, okay, we can put you in this case like a 3-and-D. But for yourself, it's not. It's more than that, and we'll talk about it a bit later because during the playoff, you showed more than just in 3-and-D. So we can talk about it now. During the playoff versus Fenerbahce, we saw you like being more aggressive, playing pick and roll, driving to the basket. Something that we didn't see you do much during the season. Paris, you tell me if you agree, but I think your game revolves a lot around TJ and Nadir and Maodo when they're on the court. It's more about the guards. And we saw you like be more aggressive. Was it a switch? Was it Thiago that told you to do more? Was it just the flow of the game that put you there?
I think it was just the flow of the game. I've always known I have those abilities. I think my teammates also know I have those abilities. And Thiago has always stressed, hey, be aggressive, be aggressive. And I guess in this situation, it came out. You know, I've had chances. You know, I have chances. You know, in transition to do my thing. You know, in most cases, you know, TJ has the ball or one of the point guards has the ball, and we let them go. And no, you know, I just like to, you know, feel the flow of the offense. I plug in when I need to be in certain areas. But yeah, in this situation, it was just time for me to step up, and I think it just worked out well.
Yeah.
You know, and
for you, not for the team.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't win, but you know, like I just think, you know, when it's time to go, you know, I have that ability. And that's why I said I feel like I can't be defined as a player, you know, because if you plug me in anywhere, I can do what is asked. But like I said, there are limits to that as well.
So. It's interesting. What are those limits?
I don't think I should say those because somebody might pick them out. Because good coach will figure them out, but I don't want to tell nobody else. Okay.
No problem. So I checked your stats on the season, mostly Euroleague. You're at 11.5 rebounds. And what's interesting, if you put Mario Hezonja at the 4, you're the best. Not, how can I say in English? Like bigs, you're not a big. Mario Hezonja plays the 4, so we can put him at the big. So you're the best rebounder, small rebounder of the league. Is this like an emphasis that the coach asks you to do, or is it just natural for you to, you're a great defensive rebounder?
I think it's just been a part of my game for a long time. If you go back to college as well, averaged 7 rebounds in college.
Okay.
I just have a feel for rebounding, I guess. So, I mean, it's just always been, you know, our thing. I've been taught our principles are to go get rebounds, you know, and it just happens to fall in my lap a lot. So, you know, I'd say that, you know, I have an ability to rebound. It's always been one of my strong suits.
And it's interesting because in Paris game, you play with a lot of rhythm, and so getting defensive rebound allows you to play fast, and you're a good transition player. So that's good for you, and that's also good for the play style of the team. Okay. Another stat that I found out: you're the 16th best plus-minus of the league. Did you know that?
No.
No. You're in front of players like Kevin Punter, Mike James, Nikola Mirotic, Evan Fournier. So you told me that you don't know that, but how do you feel when you walked in between the lines of a Euroleague game, Euroleague rookie? And I think this applies to all the team and all your teammates, but what's the mindset you have when you go into a new competition? Last year was Euro Cup, you won it. This year was Euroleague, you had a great season. What's the mindset that you have?
I feel like we were just really hungry, you know, like no one expected anything,
Yeah.
you know, like we had nothing to lose, you know, and I think that's also a mindset going forward, you know, it's just like play like it's your last. And I think we did that, you know, like sometimes it didn't work out in our favor, you know, teams won games, you know, we lost some tough ones as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, we were just going out and playing our style of basketball. Nobody else really we didn't let anybody else try to dictate what, you know, style we play. We really just focused on what was inside and not outside. And that's where our success came from, you know? It came from us just being us. And that, I guess, translated to good plus minuses.
Yeah, yeah. The best one on the team is Mikael Jonsson.
Yeah.
He has a skyrocket.
Underrated.
Yeah, very underrated. Not anymore.
No.
We'll talk about it. Okay, so since we're on the EuroLeague season, what is your EuroLeague season is over? What is your debrief? I don't know the word. Like, how do you view your EuroLeague seasons?
Successful. Unfortunate ending. Very unfortunate. I mean, nobody wants to go out in a sweep.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to hang our heads on. I mean, we did more than anybody expected. We shocked the EuroLeague, and that's something we can be proud of, you know. And we can look back on this and realize that we really did something special here, you know. And like, that's really it, man. Like, we enjoyed it, every second of it. We enjoyed every little minute of it, every trip, every chance we got to play basketball. We enjoyed it. We never left anything on the table, you know. And like, that's really it. And I got to do it with guys I've been playing with for my whole career, you know, basically.
Yeah.
And that's been the blessing, you know, and that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's not the first time that you say something like you're really a band of friends. Like, you truly loves your teammates and they truly love you back, I think. So I don't know what the future will get, but it translates when we watch you, we see that you're really friends, and that's I think that's part of why you've been so successful. Okay, I did you're my fourth interview. I did Mathieu Strazel from Monaco. I did Isaiah Cordinier from Bologna. I did Yakuba, and then I have you. Before I ask my question, do you see like a pattern between?
It's a lot of French guys.
Yeah, you're the first. Yeah, but that was not where I'm going to. You're all great defenders.
Okay.
I think we can agree.
I agree. I agree.
So I still play at my level, and I feel it's interesting to ask you, like, because defense is often overlooked by young players also.
I would think older players as well.
Yeah, although everyone. So I think it's interesting. Like, do you have like what makes you a good defender? What are your strengths, and can you give us like a tip? Some tips.
Genuinely, I think it's all about heart. Yeah, there comes a lot of physicality, you know, a lot of mental game to it as well, like, you know, knowing your personnel, this, that, and the other. But a lot of it, I was not a good defender when I was young, when I was growing up. It wasn't until I became like a professional where I became a really good defender. So it's all about what you want to be. You know, I think if you want to get paid, everybody wants to be a scorer, but there's too many scorers out there. I think it's a very underrated way to get paid.
Yeah.
And like, I know it's not about money because I don't play for, you know, obviously it comes into a point where basketball becomes about you wanting to get paid, whatever. But genuinely, I just like the fact of I stopped you, let's go the other way, try again. You know, like, it's a genuine feeling, a genuine burn that I have to kind of play defense. It's fascinating for me. Nobody wants to do it, so why not I do it? And
you're not the only one in Paris basketball who plays defense.
No, you know, but that's not what I mean. You know, like, most people don't want to do it, you know? And it's just something that separates me, allows me to continue to play, you know? It'll always keep me a job. I don't have to score every night, you know? I could just play defense. Everything else is just a bonus now.
And it's interesting because you talked about like getting paid, but even without the money part. Like, I think it's a great way to earn playing time.
Yes.
When you're a young player, when you're new in a team, you're gonna get on the court if you can stop the opposing player. And then we saw, like, that's what I told, like, Mathieu Strazel and Isaac Cordinier, who was at first like great defenders, just defenders. And now you see Mathieu's season this year. Isaac Cordinier,
he's grown.
And during the Olympics. Since they're on the court and since they're not scorers, defense sags off, and then they have spaces to play, and then they get better. So play defense, kids. That's important. Okay, I want to ask you about more the physical part. How do you manage the workload of training practices, physical training?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, do you have do you answer like forums, or do you have a GPS that tracks how many, you know?
I mean, I have one. I'm wearing it right now.
Okay.
But I don't really track, you know, like, the thing is that, you know, whatever practice requires is what I do, you know, like, and then some. You know, if we're going hard, then, you know, I need to give my all, you know, and that's just how kind of practice goes, you know, after you get your work in, you know, get some shots up, whatever. But that's really it, you know, like, whenever you can work, you got to work, you know, regardless if you're tired. You know, we have a lot of time off as athletes. You know, you have the rest of the day, you know what your body needs. So if you feel like, you know, today you need to rest, go ahead and rest, you know, like, that's important. So
you don't have like team tracking of...
No.
Okay. So I think maybe that was my next question. Maybe it was different when you played in the US, because...
I don't think I've ever had like team tracking, like in the NBA where they use the little chest monitors. No, I don't think I've ever had that. You know, we have great physios, great athletic trainers that let us know when we need to sit our butts down, and, you know, they make the right call on that. But other than that, you know, I can track it myself, but I kind of just trust and rely on the guys that are paid to do it. Okay. So it's nice. Okay.
We talked about the NBA. I'm sure you heard that the project of the NBA is to open a league in Europe.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to speak. If you don't want to speak about it, you can tell me. What's your opinion about this new league? And as an American player, would you feel like an NBA player if you played in NBA Europe?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the dream is still to play in the NBA, regardless whether it has NBA Europe behind it or anything like that. I mean, obviously, America is where the real NBA will be. You know, that's where the highest level will be. I don't know what they're going to do with it. So I don't really have a lot of information to say, you know, what I would do. But I mean, I'd be interested to see like what they have like planned for it and how it turns out. But right now, like, you know, the goal is NBA.
Okay, so America. You want to go to the NBA? That's a goal of yours.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, yeah, you have the profile to go to the NBA.
Appreciate that.
But I don't know if you saw, but there are some teams that already went away from the Euroleague, like Alba Berlin, to go to BCL. Yeah. But BCL, you go with the FIBA, and then the goal, I think. Yeah. I heard Valencia too went up, so it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's gonna bring, you know, so.
You don't know. You
don't know. I can't really speak on it because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay. You talked earlier about embracing the culture, like not respecting the people, but showing the people that you're happy to be there.
Yep.
You have a strong bond with the Parisian
Co-Persi.
Yeah, I am one of them. Yeah. So you, Yakuba, Malcolm, after each game, and maybe I forgot someone, but you come and you sing with us, and is this like, do you enjoy it, or is it, I think you enjoy it, of course, but is it like more professional?
No, it's never professional. I mean, at some point it is, you know, like obviously you want to come over and thank the fans, but more is more personal, you know, like we take pride in getting to know you guys. You know, we realize, you know,
events when you rapped with some of the. And then after the French Cup, you were
we all hung out. Yeah, it's important because those are the people who are gonna have your back when no one's with you, you know, and it's important to build a relationship with you guys, and it's important that that we have your back just like you have ours. And I feel like if you take it in a professional way, you'll be able to know they'll never go in the stands. Yeah. They'll just and do the lap, and it's really important for us that we build a connection with you guys, because we know that right now we're not so many, compared to other teams, we're growing. So it's very personal, we want to make sure that you guys know that we appreciate you for coming to wherever game you coming to the home games, even when, when people feel like it's not a big game, you guys are there, and we really appreciate that. So it's always love,
And you give this back because you're one of the few players that when you make a big stop or you make a big play, you make these moves to the crowd. So it pumps us to sing even louder. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice relationship that you have with the Cup Paris. I don't say only me, but all of the Cup. Yeah. Okay, now the not fancy, but spicy.
The spicy questions?
Yeah, spicy questions. I think you heard rumors about your future.
Okay.
I won't ask you what you're going to do next year.
Okay.
But the biggest rumor is Olympiacos is very interested in you. How does it make you feel to hear that big Euroleague teams are after you?
Proud. I mean, came from Würzburg, like I came from, I almost got relegated my first year as a professional. And I played with I played with more Americans, but everybody was hurt during the season. And it ended up just, for majority of the season, it was just me and Cam Hunt and 7 other Germans. And we were just battling just to stay alive in the league. And, I think it's awesome. I'm truly blessed to, even have my name with teams like that. Yeah. And, it is just rumors. But it still builds a confidence in yourself. Like, okay,
that kind of player.
People see you as a good player or a player to play at that caliber. So it's dope.
So again, play defense.
Play defense, yeah.
So as you know, Paris basketball is a new team.
Yeah.
It's not very old. So as players, do you feel like you're writing the story of this club? Because since you got here, you won Leaders Cup, you won the Euro Cup, you won the French Cup. Now this year you made it to the Euroleague playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. At first, when we did the preview,
we won the regular season too.
Yeah, and that was the last thing. You won the regular season, so now you're in good position to get the French title. Do you realize you're writing the story of this club and you set the bar, you told that you have high standards and you set the bar very high for this club?
Yeah. We understand where we came from and what we've done. I don't think we brag about it or anything like that, but I think we humbly accept the fact that, we're helping build the club. I think we know what we've done and that it doesn't happen often in what we do.
Yeah.
It's just been an amazing journey, it's not over. But we look back.
It pleases me to hear you say that.
But we still have more to accomplish. And it's important that we do remember what we've done, and it's awesome that we can look back and be like, man, we've really built something here in Paris. We walk through the city, and some people might recognize you in a big city like Paris. 5-year-old club. You've won. You've done some stuff in the Euroleague. You got fans that watch Euroleague because their teams are, from Turkey or their teams are for Greece. We've seen the teams from Serbia come in and support their teams, and then you walk around the city and they're like, oh, hey, you play Paris basketball. When we first got here, they didn't know. Yeah, people still don't know. So it's awesome to watch the club grow and be a part of that, and it means the world to us.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's really, as I said, very rare. It's a fast growing, and. Next year, maybe the finance will catch up. Yeah, but because you have the result of a top 8 EuroLeague club, but financially it's always it's a new club. You have to bring a sponsor in. We saw during the season you had new sponsors coming in, so it's you have to get paid when you play defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important decision, for everybody, and You know, I think everybody's going to make the right decision, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be based on, you know, what's best for us. And, you know, we not counting out Paris. You know, I think we all want to stay together. So we're going to do what's best.
But, you know, as a supporter, I can tell you, like, I see, like, a lot of Milwaukee Bucks fans telling Giannis, like, okay, we're good. You did what you had to do with us. Go play somewhere else. And I think a lot of Parisian fans feel the same way about you and the people who are at the end of the contract. Like, what you did is amazing. So, of course, we would like everybody to stay here and be the same team next year. But if you go, if you go, we won't be. I don't think any fan will be mad at you, because what you brought to Paris basketball is just unbelievable. So
we appreciate that.
On behalf of me and all the Parisian fans, like, thank you.
Yeah.
We're going back to Euroleague. This weekend you have the Final Four. Do you still watch the games?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, man, I want to be there. I want to know what's going to happen too. So
okay, so what's your?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You have to.
I don't have one. I'm so serious. I don't know who's gonna win. It's one game.
Yeah, it's one game.
It's 2 times. You got to play 2 games once. You know, like if you want to win, you got to win 2 games. You know, and it's a toss up with these teams, man. These teams are so good. You have no idea what's gonna happen. It's not like one team is way better than the other. You know, and I can't give you an answer, man. Really.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think I will give you my answer, and then I will look at your reaction.
All right, look at it.
I think this year Monaco can make it.
Okay.
Obviously, I think the winner of the Euroleague will be the winner of the Olympiacos Monaco game.
Okay.
I think Fenerbahce will get to the final.
Okay.
I strongly dislike Ergin Ataman. This way of, I'm Turkish, but I don't like this way of always complaining. But that's me. Okay. So I hope Fenerbahce, and I saw a good Fenerbahce team against you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was very critical of Jasikevicius, and I saw him make adjustments. I saw him put Wade Baldwin in a good spot again, because the start of the season it was very difficult for him. Tarik Biberovic, they have a good team. All 4 teams have great rosters.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
Yeah, it's hard because you play like.
They played some of the best basketball we played all year. Yeah. Like they were locked in the whole thing. You know, it wasn't like it was any fall off. Whoever came on the court brought the same thing. Yeah. You know, so it was just a really tough series. Yeah.
But as you said, you don't have to like be embarrassed of what you did. The first game was really close. Not the second.
Not the second.
And the third one went to overtime. So it was, and then you had this regular season game against Fenerbahce. I still don't know. Maybe you can answer me. I don't know if you can tell me, but what happened on the last possession? Were you supposed to switch? Were you supposed to follow? Do you remember the game?
Oh, the one with Nigel?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were also supposed to switch.
Okay.
And,
so it was
just a little miscommunication, and you know, that's what happens.
But that's what gets you to the top level, the small details. But we saw last year Monaco had some problems also against Pana on the switch situation like this. So you don't have a winner?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I'd love to have one.
So I talked about Monaco. It's the big other team in France with Asvel. Do you feel like you can look them in the eyes this year? Because last year during the finals, they kind of show you like they're above you.
Who?
Monaco.
Oh, Monaco?
No, not Asvel. Do you feel like this year you can look Monaco in the eyes and?
I feel like we could look Monaco in the eyes last year. They just won. You know, they played great basketball. You know, it's just like, what are you supposed to do there? You know, like it's just like when we played Fenerbahce. You know, when a team is good, you know, and you get their best basketball, you can't be mad. You know, we got their best basketball. We played some of our best basketball, and you know they won. You know, but I don't think we ever, you know, are worried that we're gonna lose, or, you know, I think that we have confidence enough that we're gonna win every game. You know, and I mean, I think that, you know, the guys in the locker room would say the same thing. You know, we think that we can compete with anybody in the world. You know.
Okay, nice. No, because when we see you went 2-2 this season with Monaco.
Yeah.
But the last,
and 2 of them were smackaroonies. Yeah.
Yeah, the two last one. Yeah. Since they got Daniel Tice.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's really good. And we also came back from 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we got the capabilities to win every game.
You still have to get past the quarterfinals and
we still got 1 game at a time. Yeah. So they still got to do the same thing too. You know, we can't write us in the finals already and them in the finals already. They got to get past some tough teams. We got to get past some tough teams. We can't overlook anybody because we've seen that we've lost some games because we might have been preparing for something else. And, not in practice where we prepare for something else, but like sometimes you might look ahead or you might not bring the same juice. But, you know, you got to bring every team in this LMB is insane. Yeah. From top to bottom. Even La Rochelle can give you some punches, you know.
We saw Le Mans won some great games against Monaco.
Le Mans has not. I don't think Le Mans has lost to Monaco this year.
Yeah, so you see.
You know, like you see.
Some teams are
tough.
Yeah, tough. Okay, last question. How does it feel to play with a 2-time MVP of the French League and the MVP everywhere he goes?
Yeah.
He got stolen this year.
He got
He got robbed.
I agree. TJ makes my life easy, man. I love playing with T. He's a great player. He's a better person. You know, he's one of my close friends. So to play with him is honestly just fun. You know, it's fun to watch him continue to get better, watch him tear up the Euroleague. You know, just watch him become like, you know, a better person, you know, and a better player, and it's a blessing to watch, honestly. But, you know, it's fun, you know, and I more so watch, and I'm just like, ooh, tough. He's tough, man.
Incredible. With his height, it's incredible.
Yes.
And I saw you did like a video with Shima Moneke and TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe bring Shima in.
I don't know nothing about that, man. You gotta talk to front office about that one, man. I got no connections with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Tyson. It's been great. Thank you for all your answers and your smile.
No,
I wish you all the best for the end of this season, for the next season, and hopefully you'll get the title.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. We get the title.
Yeah, we get the title. Thank you.